Super Rugby Round 5 Friday games. First up, we have the Highlanders versus the Rebels, and then the Waratahs versus the Lions, the jersey I am wearing today. Let me know the games that you think is going to be the best one for the Friday games, and then also your prediction for both of these games. Let me get into my predictions though. Game 1, it is the Highlanders versus the Rebels. Both teams, they've not had the best of starts so far to their seasons. Highlanders 1 out of 3. After that hammering that they had last weekend against the Crusaders, they will want to rectify that. The Rebels 1 out of 4. Last weekend they lost to the Sharks in Ballarat. The history does favour the New Zealanders though. 6 out of the last 8 games these two teams have played, or the only 8 games these two teams have played, the Highlanders have won. The Rebels have never beaten the Highlanders in Dunedin though. Can the struggling Rebels do it this time? The side is strengthened a little bit by the inclusion of Matt Tamua as we go over to the respective sides for this weekend. Tom English, he also strengthens the midfield, and we see Meeks and English form their regular partnership. That's a partnership I like of the Rebels. I think they're a very good partnership when they play together. English does set up a lot of players outside, and it's a very good combo. Then Cottrell, he comes into the side as well. I remember a couple of weeks ago he scored a hat-trick, and then in the next couple of weeks he just was on the bench every week, so that was weird. Then Kuchlenberg, not Kuchlenberg as the Australians say, he comes in for Ross Hylett Petty, and then Rangi is at the hooker. The Highlanders, they shuffle up front with changing 4 of their 8 players up front. Most notable change, Frizzell being out of the side. He's being rested according to that All Black resting policy. So this is one of the 2 days he is being rested. And then the guys also in is Leonard Brown, Dixon and Wetton. So expect the front pack to behave a little bit differently this time around. The backline, we see the inclusion of McKay in here. It is basically the 4th different right winger that the Highlanders are trying this season. It's been a troublesome area for them, having some injured, then a yellow card. Last weekend, Kuridrani didn't do too badly, but he's out as well. So yeah, that's what's going on with the Highlanders. Going to both teams' benches, probably the most notable guy on the bench, the Wallaby on the Rebels bench. Ulysses is back from his injury. The Wallaby hooker, the 23-year-old, he's going to make an impact when he finally gets a start this season. Look, the Highlanders had 2 20-plus point losses, one of them going to the Sharks and one of them to the Crusaders, and then a 1-point victory over the Brumbies. So it's not been the greatest season as of yet to them. That one against the Brumbies, they snuck it very late. The Brumbies actually technically won that one, just didn't round off that game. So the Highlanders do have a victory there. And they are persisting with Hunt and Ioane at number 10 and 12. I think it's been working. It does make the backline tick a little bit better, or a little bit differently, let me rather say it like that. But the rest of the backline isn't really forming a good combo with those two. Then Aaron Smith, he is still at number 9. Last week he was very good, made a lot of chances, but the problem is sometimes he makes a couple of dumb decisions, but I don't know if it's just because he's overthinking stuff, because last weekend he gave a couple of kicks where he should have passed definitely. But hey, it's Aaron Smith, he's a legend. You can't really say it's dumb decisions. It could have worked in another dimension. It's All Black, it's always in that dimension. Then with the Rebels, they lost to the Sunwolves, to the Brumbies, the Sharks, and then the only victory they have had is against the Waratahs. The backline, they are just not firing at all cylinders. I just don't think they are doing what they are supposed to be doing well at the level that they should be doing it, because they look a lot better than they are. Unless they change that around, I do expect the Highlanders to get a victory here by 12 points. Next up, it is the Waratahs versus the Lions, and this one is pretty close to call actually. Just hear me out a little bit. Yes, the Waratahs, they are 0 from 3 so far, but the Lions are 1 from 3 so far, and that was only a 7-point victory over the Reds in Johannesburg on a tour match for the Reds. So I don't know if you can really count that one, but yeah, it's against the Reds. And for the Lions now, they are on the road as well, so this will be a true test for them. Normally, I would say now we look at the bye. The Lions did have a bye this past week, so they've been preparing for this for 2 weeks. They've been in Australia for a week now, but the Waratahs have also had an off week, so both teams have prepared for the respective sides for 2 weeks now. The history between the two sides, 50-50 over the last 10 games, but the last 5 victories all goes to the Lions in the previous games, even a 29-0 victory in Sydney in 2018. Okay, you might say, yeah, it might be a little bit mixed, but more signs point to the Lions having a victory. But I don't know. Both teams, they look like they're on the brink of something special and just ticking into gear. Especially the Waratahs. They look like there's something special in that side. It's just not working completely right. So I don't know. I hope that both teams do tick into gear and that we do see the best of both sides. I want to always see the best from every team. I think the Waratahs coaches will probably feel the same as I do. They made minimal changes. The future star, Nawakwanita Wase, I'm getting better with that name. He's back at number 14, the 19-year-old. He is very dangerous. He is a prodigy. He is going to become a star. And just look out for this guy scoring tries. If you have a fantasy team and you do play Superbru, it's down in the links below. And do pick this guy in your team. Up against him, it is Ulengo for the Lions. He is playing his first game for the Lions, so getting his first start for his new team. He's played for the Cheetahs before and for the Bulls. Now he's there as well. For the Waratahs, their other change is Swinton at number 6. The Lions, they have made a couple of changes as well. Warner comes in at number 9. Actually, I liked Vandenberg at number 9. The first week I was a bit skeptical about him, but then he just showed what he can do. With him, they've had a victory over the Reds. They came very close to the Stormers, whereas Warner, not so good against the Jaguares, were they? The Lions scrum, it has been on the back foot for a couple of weeks now. The veteran Yanni du Plessis hasn't really performed as you would expect from a former Springbok. So Sadi comes into the team. Comfort, he's also in at hooker, so it's also a bit of an unknown with the pack because there's a lot of little changes in there, especially in the front row, that could change things around for them. The benches, not too much movement for both sides. The big guy to look out for the Lions, they have Albert yet again on the bench, the bone collector or the bone crusher or whatever you want to call him. He does like running over people and he likes really tackling people. So that's a guy to look out for when he comes onto the park. This game will have some running to it. It will have epic tries in it. It's almost guaranteed. The penalties and goal kicking might be the difference at the end of the day, with teams kind of cancelling out each other's tries. That's what I think, at least. Harrison, he's been good for the Waratahs. He's a young guy. He's also a prodigy in their side, a junior wallaby. So he's going to be good for them. I think Elton Yankees, he's been okay with his kicking at goal. Most people would probably go with the Lions for this one. I think I'll take the risk for this weekend. I hated doing this 2 days before the time because I'm recording this a little bit more ahead when you actually see it. But I don't hope I mess up my Superbru. I think the Waratahs will go and win this one by 3 points. Guys, leave your predictions down in the comments below and tell me which game you are most excited for. Not only on Friday, on Saturday as well. Also, check out any of these other videos popping up next to me. And then you can also join the Superbru pools. Cheers.